Wow, what a time, eh? Just thick and fast. So, courtesy of Promobricks, which I'm sure anyone that's a half self-respecting Lego Star Wars fan follows anyway. But overnight, they released the January to May wave of leaks, which kicks off with 30680, a polybag, 75 pieces. Everyone loves a polybag. And if we follow the usual pattern, it's probably going to be a polybag version of the UCS set that is due out kind of around May the 4th. So working on the premise that we don't really know what that UCS set is, other than it was rumoured that it was going to be a Jabba's sail barge. It could be there, or maybe it's a figure polybag from the sail barge scenario. That would be something pretty cool. Next one is 75372, the Clones versus Droids Battle Pack. At last, Lego's listened to the fact that we've had heaps and heaps of battle packs for clones or troopers and never any droids. So we're going back to the old school where there's kind of a mix of them. Although you've got to say that 75280 did have a couple of battle droids in it, and it did have clones in it. But the rumour is that this one is going to be 4 regular Phase 2 white clones. So incredible for army building. Along with 3 and 3 of just normal B1 battle droids and 3 super battle droids. So those super battle droids haven't been seen for a long, long time. So that could be an incredible set, and is going to go like hotcakes when that one comes out, I would suggest. Next up is 75374. This one comes from the not yet released or even a trailer of Skeleton Crew TV series for Disney. Given that they've been cutting back on their shows a lot, this one could well be in jeopardy, I imagine, if things keep going. The set is listed as going to be a Skeleton Crew pirate ship, which could be either any of that thing, but it could be that little green fella that was in the Mandalorian, which would be pretty cool. The kind of the original artwork doesn't really give much away there, but again, could be a fairly sizable ship at 1,325 pieces. I've only got euro prices, so I don't know the differences, but at that kind of size, it's a fairly big pack. Next up comes 2 18 plus sets. So the first one is 75375, 18 plus Millennium Falcon Midi Scale. So we had the Super Destroyer that was kind of released this year. We've had in the past the Nebula set. We've had a Midi Falcon previously, and there was the Star Destroyer, Imperial Starship, whatever it was, previously. Lovely to see these Midi scales coming along. The Falcon's going to be, I haven't got a piece list, but it's going to be about the €80 mark, whatever that translates to. But given that I actually went back and collected the Falcon, because I had the others, on the guess that they might continue the Midi scale, I'm rather pleased with that. And the next one in that series is 75376, an 18 plus Tantive 4. Again, going to be great, and I hope they kind of get them in some kind of scale as well, because that would be kind of nice if they did that. But 2 great sets, good display models in that 18 plus set. What that tells you, interestingly enough, is that there are no new helmets. Have we seen the last of the helmets, or will they make a comeback in the second half of 2024? My guess is they've gone for good, because otherwise you would probably have one or two in the beginning of the year, which has always been the case. Next out of the bag is 75376, Grogu's Escape. Obviously taking that scene from the end of The Mandalorian. Bet your life it's going to be yet another Grogu figure, along with Keller and Beck. Maybe some clone troopers, Coruscant guards, probably the little speeder that they made their escape on. Don't know, could be a good set, could be absolute rubbish. Kind of, it's one of those, isn't it? It's like we've had Grogu so many times, unless they made that into a bigger set. But given it's only retailing at €30, it's going to be a pretty small set. The build's not going to be huge. Not particularly interested in that one at this stage, but I could be wrong. 75379 is R2-D2, a kind of buildable figure, given the tragedy that was the Chewbacca one recently, and that we have the UCS R2-D2 in existence. Who knows what this will be? It's going to be about the €100 mark, which is an interesting price point. Could be good, could be a bit average. There was the Boost program R2-D2. It's probably about the similar scale to that. Going back to the classics, as they always do, Chewbacca, R2, Stormtrooper, Vader, Luke, there's always the same characters come and go all the time. Another one that buildable figures, they keep trying it, but I'm not sure whether they ever stick. 75380 is Boonta Eve's Pod Race Diorama, so more adult sets in this one. Pod Race Diorama, going to be difficult at that scale to include minifigures, I would suggest, unless you're only going to go with one pod racer, and then it's not really a race, is it? It would be cool if it was a Bad Batch pod race, because that was a cool episode, but it's not going to be. It's Boonta Eve, so yeah, plenty of pod racers been around. They just seem to like them. Another set that I've never really been that interested in, even the 20th anniversary one. I've got it, but doesn't really do anything for me. 75381, another 18s plus buildable Droidica, retailing at €60, so a bit less than a lot less than the R2-D2. Probably a lot of technic parts, which surprises me that this kind of a lower price point. Probably not going to have that feature that the original one did, where he kind of rolled out, unfurled himself. Continuing the kind of buildable droids, I guess. It's a popular droid because it's kind of menacing, but again, don't know, not for me. Kind of, unless this one comes out looking amazing and has got some really interesting parts, and I just can't see myself being too interested in that one. 75382 is the UCS TBC. No one knows what it's going to be. Obviously, the rumours were that it was going to be Jabba's sail barge. We shall see. Don't know. I think sail barge is a bit bland for a UCS set. Kind of like, unless you were going to do a really elaborate interior, but UCS sets don't usually have play features, so why would you have an interior? Maybe it'd be the Ghost, maybe a turbo tank. Maybe that would make more sense, and then the poly bag would be like a mini build poly bag, or even a clone driver. Who knows? But I kind of hope it's not a sail barge. I just don't think it's got the appeal, even though kind of Return of the Jedi's anniversary was last year. It will be the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace next year, which probably explains the pod racer. Maybe it'll come from that, the UCS set from the Phantom Menace. Not sure what that would be, but yeah, maybe a clone turbo tank would be a much better bet, given the amount of clone troopers that have featured in sets of late. And then the last two, 75384 is the 4+ set from the Young Jedi Adventures. It's the Crimson Firehawk, 136 pieces, so it's not going to be a massive build. It's going to have two characters, Nash, Durango, and the little droid thing. It's a shame it's not going to have the little blue little furry fella. He didn't get a feature in 75358, that first set that came out there, but maybe he will. Maybe we'll get a nice surprise and he'll turn up, but it would have to be like a moulded figure, like a Chewbacca, wouldn't he? So probably quite an expensive piece, and that set price is not that expensive compared to the last one. And as we know, these 4+ sets have taken quite a bump in price recently. And then the last one that we know of at this stage is 75387, the Tantive 4 Boarding Diorama. Potentially a cool set, clearly going to have some figures. Rumoured to be a mix of Darth Vader, obviously, Rebel Troopers and Stormtroopers, which would be cool. That would give you at least kind of 5 figures. Been a while since we've had kind of old school Stormtroopers. It would be really good. And Rebel Troopers, are pretty rare and collectibles, so it would be another way to get those. If you'd bought the Yavin Rebel base, it would be a good way to get some more of those. As a diorama, kind of, don't know, it's probably in this latter kind of Dagobah training and the Endor Speed Chase kind of diorama, as opposed to the trench run, the trash compactor kind of thing, where you've got minifigures in a setting. Possibly the one I'm most interested in out of the sets. That and the Midi Scale ones are the picks for me. Not much of an army builder myself, but those display ships and the boarding one could be the winners out of that set. A good little leak set courtesy of Promobricks, as ever, and we know how reliable they are on getting the information right. Love to hear which ones you're excited about, which ones you'd like to get. How do you think those compare to previous ones, and what you think the UCS set's going to be? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest, and thanks for watching.